I found myself in a missing girls case file. Not someone who looked like me. Me, same crooked front tooth, same purple sweater, same butterfly clip in my hair. The photo was from kindergarten picture day. I knew because my mother kept the same one in a frame above our stairs for 27 years. Only in the case file, my name wasn't Emily Carter. It was Hannah Wells. And according to the police report, Hannah Wells disappeared 3 months before I was born. I was researching forgotten missing child cases in small Midwestern towns for a quiet true crime video. No headline case, no famous victim. Just old county files no one looked at anymore. Hannah's file was buried in an Ohio archive. A scanned folder, faded witness statements, one school photo, one final page marked unresolved. At first I thought the wrong image had been uploaded. Then I saw the scar, a tiny white line above her left eyebrow. I have the same scar. My mother always said I got it falling off a porch swing when I was 3, but Hannah had it too. Same place, same shape, years before I was supposed to exist. I printed the file photo because digital things can feel fake. Paper doesn't. Paper just sits there and makes you deal with it. That night, I drove to my father's house with the printout folded in my purse. My mother had been dead for 6 years. Cancer. Slow and unfair. My father still lived in the same house. He still kept her robe on the bathroom hook. He still bought the tea she liked, even though he never drank it. When I put the photo on his kitchen table, he stared at it for 1 second too long. Then he said, "Where did you get that?" Not, "Who is that?" Not, "That looks like you." Where did you get that? That was the first time I felt truly afraid. I told him her name was Hannah Wells. I told him she vanished in 1995. I asked why my kindergarten photo was in her file. He stood up and washed a coffee mug that was already clean. My father always cleaned things that didn't need cleaning when he was upset. Finally, he said, "You should have let that name stay buried." I laughed once because if I hadn't, I would have screamed. "I'm in a missing child file." He turned around then, and his face looked older than it had 5 minutes before. "No," he said quietly. "You're in the wrong file." After he fell asleep, I searched the house. Families make detectives out of children by lying to them. I found the box at 1:40 in the morning, hidden behind the furnace in the basement inside a black trash bag wrapped with old duct tape. Inside were newspaper clippings about Hannah Wells, a small pair of red shoes, a child's hospital bracelet, a folder labeled Hannah/Emily, and a VHS tape. The label said, "Return Day." I almost didn't play it. My hands were shaking badly enough that I had to try twice to get the tape into the old player. The screen went blue, then static. Then our old living room appeared. The green couch was there. My mother was sitting on it, crying, much younger. My father was behind the camera. His voice said, "Just say what they told us." My mother shook her head and said, "I can't." Then she looked up with swollen eyes and said, "They said we can keep her if we never ask where she was." The camera dipped toward the carpet for a second. My father whispered, "She's coming." Then the front door opened. 2 police officers stepped inside. Between them was a little girl. Me? No. Hannah. Purple sweater. Crooked butterfly clip. Left shoe untied. My mother made a sound I had never heard from a human being. Joy and grief hitting each other at the same time. She dropped to her knees and reached for the girl. The girl did not move. One of the officers said, "She may not answer to the old name." My father asked what that meant. The officer looked straight into the camera and said, "Children who come back from that place don't always come back with everything." My mother asked what place. He never answered. He handed her a folder and said, "If she talks in her sleep, don't talk back." Then the tape cut to black. I sat there until the television shut itself off. Behind me, from the basement stairs, my father said, "You weren't supposed to see that." I asked him what I was. He came down slowly and handed me the folder from the box. Inside were documents I had never seen. A county placement form, a sealed police letter, my mother's note, and a photocopied page stamped in red. Return protocol, minor recovery cases. There were 5 rules. Do not use the recovered child's previous name. Do not ask where the child was. Do not place mirrors in the child's bedroom. Do not respond to sleep speech. If the child draws doors, contact the county office immediately. I asked what it was. My father rubbed both hands over his face and said, "We weren't the first family they called." Then he told me the Wells family refused to take her back. I asked why. He said, "They said she looked like Hannah, but Hannah had never smiled like that." I wanted to hate him. I wanted to hate both of them. But then he said, "Your mother thought love would be enough." He handed me the note. My mother's handwriting looked smaller than I remembered. Dear Emily, if you are reading this, then the name Hannah has found you. I am sorry. I wanted to tell you many times. I told myself silence was protection, but silence is just another kind of room. They brought you to us because the Wells family would not open their door. I did not blame them after I heard you speak in your sleep. You were 7 the first time. You stood in the hallway at 3:12 in the morning facing the wall beside the linen closet. Your father asked if you were okay. You said, "There are still children inside," but your mouth did not move right. I am your mother. I know how your mouth moves. After that, we followed the rules. No mirrors, no old name, no questions, no answers after dark. We almost made it. Then your father broke Rule 4. I stopped reading and looked at him. I asked what he answered. For a second, he couldn't speak. Then he said, "She used your brother's voice." I had no brother. At least, not one who lived. My parents had a baby before me, Daniel. He died 2 days after birth. My mother once told me grief makes people superstitious. Now I understood what she meant. My father whispered, "It called me Daddy." The basement went quiet after that. Not empty, quiet. Listening, quiet. The pipes clicked overhead. The house settled. Then something tapped from behind the furnace. Once, twice, 3 times. My father closed his eyes and said, "No." The tapping came again. A child's voice whispered from inside the wall, "Daddy?" My father stood up so fast the paint bucket tipped over. "Go upstairs," he said. I couldn't move. The voice came again, softer this time. "Daddy?" I waited. That was when I saw the outline in the concrete behind the furnace. A narrow seam, a little door, too small for an adult, child-sized. My father stepped between me and the wall and told me not to answer. Then the voice changed. It became my voice, not adult me, little me. "Emily?" My skin went cold. My father whispered, "That's how it starts." The little door creaked open just enough to show darkness. The smell came out first. Dust, wet wood, old crayons, and something sweet underneath, like birthday cake left too long in a trash can. Then a hand slid through the gap. Small, pale, a child's hand, wearing my hospital bracelet. My father made a sound that was almost a sob. The hand turned palm up, waiting. And from inside the wall, the little voice asked, "Which one is your daughter?" My father looked at me, and I saw the answer destroy him, because he did not know anymore. The lights went out. I remember crawling up the basement stairs. I remember the door slamming behind me. I remember something small laughing inside the walls. And I remember my father's voice, muffled and far away, saying, "It's okay, baby. I'm here." When the police came, they found me sitting in the driveway. My father was gone. They searched the house for 9 hours. Basement, attic, backyard, crawl space, nothing. No blood, no forced entry, just one thing. Inside the little door behind the furnace, they found a purple sweater folded neatly on the floor. Dry, clean, still warm. I sold the house 6 months later and moved 3 states away. I changed my number. I stopped making true crime videos. For a while, that helped. Then last week, I checked the county archive again. Maybe because fear is a habit. Maybe because part of me wanted proof that the file was still there. It was, but it had changed. Hannah Wells was no longer unresolved. Her status now read returned. Under that was a new file. Emily Carter, active. I opened it. Inside was a current photo of me taken through my apartment window. Then another page loaded. Next, of kin. Richard Carter, recovered. My phone rang from an unknown number. I let it stop. Then I played the voicemail it left. At first, there was only static, then breathing. Small, slow, close to the microphone. And then my father's voice, soft, tired, almost happy. "Emily," he said, "your mother was right." There was a pause. Something whispered behind him. Then he said, "There's room for all of us in here." The voicemail ended. I threw the phone across the room. It hit the wall and cracked. But the screen didn't go black. A photo opened by itself. My kindergarten picture. The one from my mother's frame. The one from Hannah's case file. Only now there were two girls in it. One sitting on the stool. One standing behind her. Same face, same scar, same purple sweater. The girl in the back had her hand on my shoulder, like she was waiting her turn. The caption under the photo changed. Hannah Wells, missing. Hannah Wells, returned. Emily Carter, pending. And from inside my apartment wall, something tapped 3 times.